Every Wednesday, we will be going live with a different event. We've got a great lineup of artists, and today is our lavender event. So I'm super excited today to take this Tylenol sinus box and transform it into a cute little book. And we've got these 2 napkins here with lavenders. I just love this one. I think this is going to be the cover. And then we'll do some pages inside with some of these little lavender bundles. How cute is that? All right. So when you have a box like this, you can easily transform it into a little junk journal simply by cutting off the top and the bottom so it's all flattened out. You can do this with any box that you like. Just make sure if you're using a food packaging box that it's nice and clean. We don't want to invite any little friends into our books. There we go. And also, if you're using something that's scented, like maybe a box from soap or something, be wary of that because sometimes people have allergies. I know those tea boxes for chai tea get me. I am so allergic to cinnamon, so no chai for this girl. All right, we'll cut those off. There we go. Somebody's here. Somebody's with me. Hello, hello, whoever's in the house. We've got a great lineup today. Michelle is after me with Design and Vine. You won't want to miss her crafty stuff that she's got going. And all of us are doing lavender. I just love purple. So it's a great day to see some beautiful crafts. All right, let's see. So now, once you've got it here, this is a great way to store these too. What you need to see live and learn. Hello, Michelle. Okay, so one thing I like to do, there's a couple of schools of thought. I always like to find the side of the packaging that's ready to open, meaning it was their actual design right here that this just splits. And some people say that's the strongest part because it's glue. I personally think it's the weakest part because it's not one of the solid pieces of the box. So however you think of it, we need to break into this box just like so. And you can, I usually just cut these off. If I leave it together, you can cut it off and reinforce. This is going to be our spine area here. So we're just going to cut this smooth. If you're not a straight scissor, you can use your trimmers with these just to cut them nice and straight. I like that on the inside of these boxes, it's just a plain mat board. On the outside, of course, it's printed with all of their branding and all that good stuff. So we have to rough that up just a little bit so we have a flat surface to glue on. So I'm going to move this beautiful purple stuff out of the way for a moment. We'll throw away all of our little tabs. Okay, so on this part where it's the shiny part of the wrapper, hello friends, hello, we have 7 friends in the house. Hey, hey. I don't know who else here. There we go. Hello from Iowa. There's Janet and Carmela in Arizona. Yay. I can see you guys. There's Diana. You like the napkins? Great. Okay. I'm still learning about these YouTube lives, so I'm trying to figure out where my comments are. Yes. Welcome in, everybody. Okay. So I'm just going to take a sanding block and just kind of rough this up a little bit where it's nice and shiny. I don't know what kind of sealer they put over that, but I want to be able to glue to this. If you're using a box like this one, red is a pretty deep color. If you're not planning to cover it with like a thicker, solid cardstock or something, maybe you just want to put your napkin right on over it. It's not a bad idea to put some gesso over the top of it or even just some white acrylic paint. Or you can just keep sanding away. Now, if you're using a glass mat like I am under here, these little sanding bits are not really very good for your mat. So definitely wipe those away. I know some people use a little Swiffer or a little vacuum. I have a little vacuum. I have to get my station all set up though so that I can have it plugged in and everything. I've got all the things except for the time. Isn't that true of most things? So I'm just going to use a little baby wipe here and we'll just wipe this up. Now you can just quickly wipe the packaging. There we go. See, we got all this dusty grit off of there and we're good to go. Okay, we'll let it dry for a second here. Now I do have some, I scored this at a yard sale. I couldn't even believe it. And I mean, to some people, it's just purple paper. But here is the gem that I found. It was Tim Holt's Ranger Distress Collection. This is the stuff that it's by coordination, so you can sand it, tear it, emboss it. Love it, it says. You can do all the things. So let's give it a little sand and see what happens here. We'll just sand right on through. And I think this one is just solid core under there. So it's just going to look neat when we sand it down. Yes, that's so cool. I love it. Okay, so what we're going to do, you can either choose to wrap your book. Basically, now we have a book. This is a book. It was Tylenol turned book. How awesome is that, right? We can choose to glue this down and wrap it so that we get a nice wrapping all around, or you can cut your paper into segments. And what I mean by that is, like, we would cut a piece that fits here, cut a piece that fits here, cut a piece that fits here. So you can choose to do it in a couple of different ways. I think we're just going to go ahead and cut a strip, and then we'll wrap it, and then we're going to put this beautiful napkin on there, and we'll have some fun pages as well. So we'll put some purple cardstock in, or lavender cardstock, I guess I should be saying, since it's the lavender event. We'll put some lavender paper in there. We'll put some packaging paper in there, and I'll probably wind up putting some other kind of paper in there as well. And what I mean by packaging paper is my favorite craft-looking colored stuff like this. Listen to this crinkle. Oh, isn't that wonderful? I love it. All right. So now we can decide how far we want this to go over on each side. I don't like it to go over too much, and usually I wind up cutting little snips down here where the spine is, and then we can cover the inside afterwards as well. Here we go. A lot of times I don't do it this way. I usually will just do the panels, the little segments. But this one just seems like it would be okay to do this with. It also makes it more sturdy as well. We're going to go ahead and pour on the Aleene's clear gel tacky glue, one of my favorite glues. Now, some people here, they use double-sided tape. Glue is one of those tricky subjects, sticky subjects. Everybody has their own opinion about what the best glue is. Honestly, I use several different glues, and I use them all for different things. This one today, this Tylenol packaging is kind of like a chipboard. So it's going to be chipboard to paper. And like I said, I use a lot of different glues. There's a few I don't particularly care for. And it's funny because they are some of the most popular glues out there for junk journalers and paper crafters alike. So you just have to find what you like and what works best for you and go with that. Okay, so I'm smearing this all around. This is just a little silicone brush. And go ahead and put this kind of in the center. Hi, Debbie. Hello, friends. Come on in. Let's get another wipe for my hands because I'm the messy crafter. Although, since I have glue on them, we could use our napkin and separate the plies. Might as well use the glue for something, right? I don't like to use tape on my napkins. Some people use tape on one side and tape on the other to separate the plies. I don't typically do that because sometimes it rips. Not to say that it doesn't rip when you're this way either, but I do my best to try to keep it intact. Never would have thought to use a box from anything. You can use a box literally from anything. I typically use Kraft mac and cheese boxes to make journals, but I've been trying to show people that you can literally use any packaging that you have, and the world is so full of packaging, it's not even funny. Okay, there we go. We got our plies separated. This is a 3-ply napkin, so we'll get it down to one single ply, and we'll use that soon. Okay, and that got all the glue off my fingers. This is just a bone folder. Just trying to smear out that glue, get some really good adhesion. We also want to work on this spot that we want to be the spine. We want to get those creases really down in there so that it can fold like this. And it's just coming together swimmingly. Look at that. How cute. Okay, so now we need to cut off our corner pieces. Some people just cut straight across. Some people kind of miter cut it. I don't know really what I do. I just kind of, I guess it's kind of more of a miter cut. Ooh, I got more sticky right there. Hey, hey, we have 10 people on live. Woohoo! All right, there we go. Get that off of there. And I love purple. Who loves purple? Give me some hearts if you're loving purple. All right, so usually when I fold these down, you can keep these little guys in your scrap bins if you collage or make collage fodder, whatever you want to do. I have a bag now that I've been putting all of my scraps in, and it's been so wonderful. Okay, you can put this on a scoreboard and kind of score along here. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can do like I'm doing. I do have a scoreboard. I just don't want to break it out. So you can just go right along the side there, kind of make your crease. You can use a ruler, kind of help it form the way that it wants to go. The reason that we're doing this is we're wanting to break down those fibers in the cardstock so that it will nicely fold and not crack. Okay, did we do this one? I think we did. Perfect. I like to do the long sides first. And here is also where people will use double-sided tape and their liquid adhesive. However you want to glue is fine for me. You know, I'm kind of a glue snob, I guess. Some would say, because I have certain brands that I stick to, and those I stick to. Ha ha ha! All the glue puns are coming out, guys. Sorry, but you can use any glue that suits you. Just don't be afraid to try new glues. Okay, so the advantage of wrapping this is that it really supports the edge of our packaging here. It gives it a nice purple color all the way around, and kind of seals up the fact that it was a packaging box. Okay, and with these ends, if you didn't miter them quite how you like, you can angle them once you've got it all folded here. See if you need to get it a little more straightened up. Hey, Christy. Hey, sweet lady. We are doing the lavender event today. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for having me in this event, being part of the Artistry Collective. I love it. Okay, here we go. So we trimmed those up a little bit. Now we get some glue under there. So this has just made a nice little frame for our book here. And then we can put some more purple cardstock over it. And then we get to the fun part. We get to decorate. What am I looking for? Glue. We're looking for the glue. All right, so here is where I might use a little stronger glue because I really want these ends to bond. Not that I didn't want the other parts of the paper to bond, but this part we really want to get right. So lots of glue on there. And sometimes if you get a little like bubbling here where it starts to turn for the spine, you can see how it tries to pucker a little bit. You can relieve that by making these little like triangle snips in the corners and just taking those little pieces out. If they want to pucker and not play nice, then they can just leave. There we go. And that's how you do that. You just make those little triangular snips. Nothing too fancy, just a little snip. Okay, and we'll get those ones glued down. I like to glue the long sides first and then the short side. Aw, thank you, Christy. Yes, everybody's been so nice. I have been on YouTube, I think, maybe a little longer than some in the group, but I'm still learning so much from everyone. Michelle from Design and Fine has been absolutely wonderful. She does a lot of things on YouTube that I I hadn't ever even done before. So thank you guys so much for bearing with me. I feel like a newbie once again. We'll go ahead and snip these ones out just to make them match the other ones. Make sure we don't get any of that puckering that we don't want. Now look how cool this is. This is starting to look like a professional little book here, just real quick. And it was just a Tylenol box. You can literally use any packaging. I really do love my noodle boxes. They're cheap, convenient, they're great sizes. I love them making these little boxes though. These little boxes have been really fun. Little boxes, little books. They're little books from boxes. How about that? There we go. You shared to the groups. Yay, that's okay. You were washing dishes. Ugh, I hate washing dishes. Although I think I like doing laundry even less because it just seems like, well, both of those tasks, you do them over and over and over again and they're never truly done, especially when you have kids. My youngest is going to be 21 this year, and it seems like she's in charge of her laundry now because I can't hardly keep up with my own. But it seems like if I do the dishes, here she comes with a handful of them. Or if I think the laundry is done, here she comes. Oh, this was in my room. Ugh. All right. We'll take out these little snips that we don't need. Throw those out. Now we'll put some paper here. You could easily put some fabric. You could put any of the things. We want to make sure our spine is, the folds here still work really well and everything looks great. So this is just going to be a cute little book. Now people might ask you, what do you do with this? Well, what do you do with any kind of a little notebook? You could keep it in your purse to write down little notes. You could make it into a little address book. You could make it into just a tiny little journal that maybe you write inspirational quotes. You could make it be a little brag book. Any of those things would work and work very, very well. All right, let's see if we can use this scrap up here. Your sweeping and dusting are the same. Yeah, that's right. Oh, there's Tamra. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah, especially if you live anywhere near a farm. Oh, my goodness. I feel like and sweeping for a blind lady, I mean, I don't know if I ever truly get it done, but I do sleep. We've got dog and cat hair and farm. So, gosh, feels like it's never done. And I'll just clean and then, it's never a never ending task. You are so right. Okay. So let's see. I think I want to put a little piece of this fabric here that I have. And it's just the tiniest little scrap that's been laying on my desk, but I think it's going to work perfectly here for right in the center. Look at that. Oh, that's going to be so cute. Okay, so what we're going to do, I think we're going to put this down first. No. We're going to put our paper down first. All right, here we go. Go ahead and trim this down a little bit. It needs just a little smidgen off. Now, if you are a measuring kind, you go right ahead and measure to your heart's content. I do not really love measuring all that much, so I do every which way workaround I can to get things covered without having to actually measure a thing. So let's see, does this piece fit over here just like this one? It does, so we can line this one up here and see how much we need to trim off. See, just like this, then I don't have to measure. There we go. One piece here and one piece here, and then we're gonna have our fabric down the center. And make sure you are getting your glue all the way to the edges because those edges always seem to lift up and need the most support. So I sometimes like to do a little frame first, and then I just kind of color in the center. And when I put these down, I usually will use my bone folder and kind of brush towards the edges so it gets that glue all around where it needs to go. Try and get it to come out. You can use your bone folder You can use a brayer, you can use just your fingers, whatever you want to do. Just smear that glue all around. Make sure it gets nice and adhered. The Shauna measuring method, yes. Everything I can do not to measure. I'm so excited to be part of these live YouTube events, you guys. I normally do my lives on Facebook, so if you're not following me over there, definitely check it out. If you're not following me here, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe and do all the things for myself and for all of the artists in the collective. We are a small group working together, trying to just have good crafty fun and help each other grow. And I love that. There's like no drama. Everyone's just helping each other out. It is a smaller group, but it's been so great. So great. Okay, so we'll just wrap this around. There we go. See, we could have made those little pockets if we wanted to, but now I feel like it's got a nice, good, sturdy construction on it. It can sit by itself. I can definitely feel it's not dried yet. So we are going to get a little bit of warping from the glue that I used. I'm okay with that, though. I kind of feel like it makes it very unique and on its own. Let's put this fabric down here. And I love how it's frayed on the edges, so that doesn't bother me either. It's really great in small groups, yes. Oh, I'm the best at making these. I don't know about the best, Christy, but I've definitely made my share, that's for sure. I have been paper crafting for over 25 years now. All kinds of paper crafting, from cards to tags to what they now call ephemera. We used to just call it embellishments. Scrapbooks, mini books, mini albums, paper bag albums, like just whatever struck my paper crafting fancy. And I did own a scrapbook store for a few years there as well. So I kind of miss that sometimes, but you know, the world's a different place. Small group with big ideas. Yes, I love it. I love it. Last week we had a little bit of a snafu on the times, and I was a little bit crazy because I had never scheduled a post before. I need to work more on that. Michelle is great at that. She kind of walked me through, but for whatever reason, I got it listed on there as a scheduled live, and then it like created like 30 of them. I was like, oh, what happened? So I was scrambling, trying to get that all squared away. This week's a little better so far. Okay, so whatever glue you use here, whether you use Fabri-Tac or just this is just Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, make sure you put it on kind of in a single layer. You want to spread it around so that it doesn't stain your fabric. Or if it does stain the fabric, you want it to stain it evenly. So it doesn't look like one little stain. Okay, so there's that. It's a little sticky. Glue came through. That's okay. And then we're going to go ahead and work on the cover and the back cover all at the same time, because I pulled that napkin apart, the plies, and it is going to make our cover. So I'm going to cut this in half. We've got kind of a big piece we're working with here. And really, we only need this small section. I do love this part that has the seed packets, and I'll show it to you in a second here. I don't know if we're going to be able to use all of it because this is just such a cute, tiny little book. But we will save that napkin for another day. All right. So we've got one single ply of our napkin here. And it's just any pretty old napkin that you have that you like. And we can decide, I'm going to pull this to the front just for a second so we can see what parts we can get and what parts we're going to lose. I really like those seed packets. I think I might work those seed packets into the back side there and then just let the rest of it fall wherever it's going to fall. And I think that will be beautiful. So it's going to go over the spine and it's going to be on the front. And we're going to lose a lot of this piece up here. But that's okay because I love these seed packets. So, and sometimes that's how it works. You just go with what you like, and the rest will figure itself out. I'm going to use some Mod Podge. This is just the matte. I really love the satin. That is like my preferred one, although I haven't ever tried the vintage one. But if you're not a Mod Podge user, woo, that's a lot. You can use collage medium or gel medium or PVA glue or whatever it is that you like to decoupage with. I know there's all kinds of things out there now. All right, let's get this all spread around. It looks like a lot, but it will spread out. Now, some people do this differently too. They will work in little sections and then spread their way out. And that's however you want to do it is totally fine. Just make sure, like the with the glue, that you get your edges really good. And it's funny, sometimes people don't realize that you can decoupage on paper, and you absolutely can, and it looks wonderful. Okay, so I'm getting glue all over everything. All right, that'll teach me to have a messy desk. Here we go. Let's get our seed packet into position. What? Every day. That's right. I make a messy desk, messy every day. All right, here we go. Once we lay this down, it's pretty much where it's going to be. That's just going to be the way it's going to be. All right. Some people here use a stipple brush, kind of like this, and they just kind of pounce it. I don't usually do that, so I'm not going to do that with you. I do sometimes like to use my brayer and roller over this, especially since I get so much glue on there. So I've got the little sports car wand, as Tim Holtz calls it, the little Sportster. And we'll just go ahead and roller this in. What this is also doing is lifting up that napkin. Did you see how that's stuck and it ripped? So be really careful. Don't use as much Mod Podge. That really is the secret. I used a little too much, but once it dries, it's going to be wonderful. See, that pulled a bunch off right there. What we can do is take another piece of another napkin and we'll just patch it in. Sometimes when you are crafting, I don't care what kind of crafting it is, it's learning how to fix things on the fly. So, especially when you're live, it seems like if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong when everybody is watching. And that's okay. So, I do have another piece of this napkin here. Let's see. I might want to just fill in. Right there, we're just going to rip this part out. It looks like it's mostly just the side of the crate. There we go. It's all in how you recover and just save the details. It's totally fine. We're going to overlap that O because that is where I think it's at. And then we'll just go ahead and put this down. And we still have plenty of Mod Podge out here that we can just patch it in. There we go. I still have lots, lots to work with. Okay, and we're going to set this aside to dry. See how it just patched right in there? We didn't, doesn't really, you can't really see much of a difference. So that's good. We're good. Except for if I rip it again. Eek, don't touch it. Okay. Going to go ahead and wipe this off just a bit because this is quite a sticky mess. Now, don't worry about the edges right now. Murphy's Law, that's right. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, so learning sometimes how to fix these things is great. But when you have napkins, I love when they have extra designs because if something like that happens, you can easily just patch in. See, we missed half of our crate when I rolled the brayer across of it. Now it's back and it's totally fine. So you can choose to tear off the edges of this now, or you can wait until it's dry and they'll just like file right off. So I'm going to set it to the side for right now. Wow, we're doing great on time. Okay, so let's go ahead and now that I've messied up the book, let's try to figure out our pages that are going to go in there. And I need to get some measurements and it's all sticky. Perfect. So maybe measure beforehand. It looks like it's going to be 7 across and what do we have here? Maybe 4.5 high. All right. So I'll probably do like 4.5 by 6.5, or smaller. So we've got this. Eek. Now you can use a paper trimmer, or you can use scissors and a cutter. You can use a tear ruler. There's all kinds of ways to cut your paper. No one way is right or wrong. Hello, friend. Oh, it's Dee Dee. Hello, hello. Okay, so let's cut this at 6.5. This is going to be a single signature little book because the spine is just tiny. So we're just making one signature. Oh, and I had some perfect little envelopes and they're not in here. All right. 4.5. I just bought this vintage stationery pack yesterday at a thrift store, and it has some cute little purple envelopes, and it's just going to be awesome to go in here. Okay, so now that we have one made, we can very quick and easily just line it up and make another one without having to measure again. At least I think it's quick and easy this way. I know my measuring girls would be like, ugh, just measure it already. These edges here you can cut or tear or do some decorative stuff out. You had the pleasure of meeting Dee Dee in person. Oh, that's great. Yes, I'm going to North Carolina again in February, and hopefully we'll be meeting some of the subscribers and followers and friends. I can't wait. Cannot wait. We had such a great time last February. It was such a wonderful way to spend my birthday. I met a bunch of ladies from Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and North Carolina. Now, my accent was, oh my gosh, I'm very, very tuned in and aware of accents. I picked them up very easily, so it was a mess, to say the least. Oh my goodness, but it was so much fun meeting everyone. So this is just some frosted vellum I had here on my desk. Just gonna fold it in half. We'll give it a snip and put it right into this signature as well. So right now we're just making the papers that will go into our sweet little book here. We'll have 2 little pages of this, and we'll cut it down to the length that it needs to be. Now, if any of these wind up still being too long, I do have some a decorative punch that I might want to use. Okay, and then we need some purple paper. I like to put anywhere from 5 to 10 pieces of paper or things like ledger paper, craft paper, envelopes, all the things, you name it. Anywhere from 5 to 10 in each signature. And some people say, well, how do you know what do you put 5 or 10? Well, you know because you know how much you want to embellish. So if you are a heavy embellisher and you like to put lots of tags and pockets and ephemera and all the things, then you will want to put a few less pages, which sounds weird, but put a few less pages because then it'll give you more of a chance to add some of the bulky things that you might want to put in. Maybe you want to put in lots of lace and trims, all the fun things. And when I was first creating books and journals, I thought, okay, more pages means more things I can put in there, but it means more width as well. So just pace yourself. I'm still trying to learn that sometimes less is more, but my friend TC from Gigi's Craft Room tells me more is more is more. All right, I'm going to cut this branding strip off, even though I really love it. If you like these little strips, you can definitely keep them there. Sometimes I keep them there and I just go over them. meaning like this, you can just stamp over it. You can just use it as extra real estate, really. But this book is double-sided. I don't know if I'll do that, so I'm just going to trim it off for now. Okay, I'm going to cut those pages in half and see where we're at. So we've got 1, 2. Notice how this one is much smaller. That's okay. 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And then I have a couple of envelopes I do want to put in. And we're going to make this a slip spine, so I'll be able to put things in later. So let's go ahead and fold these in half. We'll give them a good burnishing. And then we will find some eyelets and some cord and dry this book cover just a little bit so we can get our pages right on into it. Okay, I should be burnishing these because there we go. And then on these pages, I do have this other napkin. We can decoupage some more onto a couple of pages, especially this vellum. I think that will be gorgeous. How's everybody's Wednesday going? Ooh, Wednesday. My goodness, where are the words today? I've even had coffee today, guys. You're a heavy embellishment girl, so you learn to use less pages when you keep wanting to add and add and add and add. That's right. If you like to add layers and clusters and textures, that's right. Less pages is more. And when you are calculating your pages, there's some kind of bookmaker's math. And every page is 4 surfaces to work on. So every page like this that you're putting in here, I'll show you in just a second once I even this up, is actually 4 surfaces to work on. So when you put this one page into your book, you have the front, the inside left, the inside right, and the back. So that's 4. You have to drive, but we'll still be listening. All right, be safe, Christy. Be safe, be safe. I do that too. I turn on somebody who's live, some crafty friend, and let them just fill the room with their wonderful commentary. I love listening to everyone. I really do. Okay, this one, is it ripped? Nope, it's just wrinkled, and I love the wrinkles. If you don't like the wrinkles, you can use, I have the sweetest little baby iron. Oh my goodness, you guys have to see it. I got it as a birthday gift, and it's just adorable. Look at this little thing. So you can iron your paper. How cute, right? Makes ironing kind of fun. Never thought I'd say that, but it is kind of fun when you have little miniature things. Okay. Dr. Pepper Zero is fueling the way today. I did already have a wonderful coffee this morning, though. Ugh. You love the texture of vellum. Yes, and frosted vellum is really fun to work with. I love it. So what you want to do when you're putting your signatures together is figure out what part you want people to see first. What do you want the jackets, or I call them jackets. Some people call them signature sleeves or the signature covers or whatever. It's just the first page, like the cover page of your signature. So when you open the book, what do you want people to see? I kind of want to see this beautiful lavender paper here. And then we're just going to put in an assortment. And it's kind of nice if they're different. I think it's kind of nice if they're different sizes, so you can kind of see the other papers kind of matting around. And that pink iron is so cute, isn't it cute? And then you can, just kind of put in a variety of papers, just kind of layer them. You can alternate them. You can do whatever it is that your heart's desire with them as you go along here. I kind of put them in a sequence. And then when you get to that center of the signature, when it opens up, that is the spot that most of us like to do something extra, maybe a fun moving part, or maybe this will turn into a pocket of some sort. So maybe we'll put this vellum in here, and then we'll have this purple. And this purple could be a sweet little pocket or something at the bottom. We could even glue it to the one behind it. But see how nice that looks together? You only iron fabric and paper. That's right. I don't iron clothes either. Nope, I don't do it. Okay, so we've got our cute little signature. You can flip through it. Make sure all of your pages, if you have any kind of pattern, make sure they're going the right way that you want. Make sure they're in the order that you want. Excuse me. My voice just keeps cutting out today. Make sure that they're placed the right way that you want. Like if you wanted this as the top, make sure it's up there. We're not going to pierce it or sew it or any of those things today, so it doesn't really matter as much. If it's not as permanent, we're not sewing this. So we're doing a no sew here. Woo, that is still really, really saturated. Let's see if we can dry it a little bit. Okay, and then you can go around the edges of that napkin either with scissors, because it's, you know, it's a little too big here. It's still got some Mod Podge, and I was maybe a little too heavy-handed with that Mod Podge. So it did kind of take some of the sharpness away from the napkin. So maybe that will come back a little bit once it dries. We'll just have to see over time. But for right now, we're going to move on because I want to get some pages into this book. So you can rip this off. You can use a water brush or whatever you want to use. You can use a scissors, or you can go back and use this little sanding guy. Now, if you're going to sand, go like this, kind of so that it brushes the napkin down rather than brings it up like that. If you rub this down like this, it will take the napkin off without tearing it up. I hope that makes sense. I sometimes will do like this on the side, but I never bring it up like that because it'll just lift the napkin, and we don't want to do that. I will either put more Mod Podge over the top of this once it's dried to seal in the napkin, or I'll use some collage medium. Both will take a little while to dry, so we won't do that on the live here. There we go. Look around this back here. Perfect. Love it, love it, love it. Now, I sometimes like to leave these little ruffled wispies. They just look like rough edges. I don't mind those. They kind of remind me more of like a more of a junk journaling thing. Now, if you like to take your scraps, I do have a video of where I used some drywall tape and I just adhered these little scraps to that. Or if you keep a leftover journal, you can definitely put it in there. Hi, Patty. But today, for the purpose of the live, we are moving on. All right, let's find some eyelets and we'll put them in there. Now this is going to look, I think, quite different once it's finally dried. Everything is still pretty saturated. All that white is going to dry clear, and then we'll be left with just our napkin, which will be great. But it's going to take a little while. Okay, now I could use the 1/8 inch eyelets because we're just doing a single signature here. Let's see, how much room do I actually have? This is a very small little spine, but I still feel like a 3/16 eyelet would be easier to string everything through. So, I could do white, but then it's not purple. Let's just do white because I think it'll be okay. Now, if you have metals and you don't have the colors that you need, you can use your alcohol inks and color them whatever color it is that you want. I had a friend who used to buy everything in white, and I was like, that's really boring. But the reason was that she would then use alcohol markers or alcohol inks and color everything the colors that she needed or wanted. So really, it was quite smart. Okay, so I do have this depth set here, so I know how far in it's going to go. You can use a template or a ruler and measure or whatever you want to do. Go ahead and put this in. In an ideal world, we would seal this cover before putting the eyelets in, but that's okay. Yes, just as a Tylenol box. I I like to use all kinds of fun packaging that I can find just laying around. I typically do use a lot of noodle boxes. I've been called the noodle queen or the craft mac and cheese artist. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna kind of guess right in the center again. Not too much room to make too many mistakes here, which is great. Hopefully that's straight enough. And napkins really make everything easy. They come with so much color and fun usually that it transforms just like almost instantly. Okay, I think on these inside covers, I want to decoupage some more, but if we do that, then we're going to really be drying ourselves out of this book. So what we're going to do now is we are going to put in our elastic. Now, one thing here I guess I should have mentioned is we may even wind up trimming these pages down more. You kind of want your pages to be in between your two eyelets here because we're going to put our elastic here and you want them to just be able to slip right in there. And it looks like they're still a little bit too long as well. So back to the trimming board. I know. I hear you, my measuring friends. Just measure it and you won't have this problem. You go right ahead and measure away. I'm just going to stay here and just take another little trimming off and call it good. There we go. We're making some fun little scraps. Now these make fun little paper ruffles. I love making them. So any of my strips that I make, I usually will save for paper ruffles. All right. Did I cut enough off? Now I cut one side and not the other side. So I'm going to need to cut down this other side too. And just mark it here. So you can see how quickly these come together. If I had already cut these the right way, we wouldn't be back at the cutting board. But irregardless, even if you are back at the cutting board, you still don't have a lot of time or products into these cute little pocket journals. So they make great little grandma brag books, or maybe you want to decorate one for your grocery lists, or maybe you just want some cute little inspirational quotes in your purse. Maybe you need a little address book of some regular addresses you send mail to. Maybe you send some happy mail, something like that. Any of those things would work for this cute little book. Maybe you just want a place to put some pictures, and that is fine too. Okay, so we're going to cut. I kind of liked that edge, but that's all right. And I opened it up, so I'm cutting actually both sides at the same time, which is great. Or not, it didn't go all the way through. So look around your house, any kind of packaging that you have, and man, the world is full of packaging. I can't even keep up. I make cute little Jello box books all the time. Noodle, there we go. See how that is much less thick, and we're a little more easy to get will be easier to get our pages in there. Okay, so let's get some elastic, and then we'll have a book. I love when the pages go in because that to me makes it a book. And we are just going to have one piece of elastic, which is weird to me because normally I have two. Usually I do 2 signatures, but 1 is good too. Okay, we just need a little piece of elastic. Some people really pull this out, and you don't need 2 friends because it's just a waste. So we want our strings on the inside. So we're going to push this through here. How am I going to, and go over? Yeah. So we'll do this. And go back through the hole so that we have our tie on the inside. And scissors. Here we go. So this is a single hole pamphlet, or a single hole slipped spine. So we're going to have 2 cords though, even though we don't have anything on the outside. So we're going to tie this. And I think before I do that, I might want to take some of this extra fabric off the top. I was kind of liking the frayed look it was giving, but it's kind of in the way. There we go. Okay, so going back in again, and then over and over, and we're going to tie it. And you want it relatively tight. You don't want it so tight that your elastic is breaking or your book is bowing. Yes, the purple is starting to really show through that napkin for sure. Okay, so that is too tight. See how the book is starting to fold up right there? And we don't want that. Some of it is because it's still a little bit damp underneath. We got to let it dry. But we don't want it to pull up like that. So we're just going to go ahead and tie it here. And you can tie it so that there's 2 strands, or you can tie this strand to the other strand. Doesn't really matter, just kind of depends what you want to do with it. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to cut these little tabs off. Usually when I do 2 signatures, you can still do it. You can put this towards, well, maybe I'll leave it towards the top. Which way is the top here? This one is the top. And you can put some little beads or a little charm or something off of those. You can make a little dangle off of those. I'll just leave them there until I decide what I want to do. All right, here comes the magic part. This is where we put our pages in there, and I just love it because it just so quickly and easily becomes a book, provided you have them all cut down the right way. There we go. And I used to think, no, that's not going to hold everything I need it to hold, but it really does. Nothing's coming out of there, friends. Nothing's coming out. It's just fine. Okay. Yay, look at that. Look how cute. I love it. Let's give it a little closure too, because I think it's going to need a closure. And on here, we could decoupage some more of those beautiful lavenders that I have from this other napkin. Maybe with a little less Mod Podge so it doesn't take forever and a day to dry. Looks great. Yes. And then on these pages inside of here, you know, you can put photos, you can make pockets, you can continue Mod Podging with some of these beautiful napkins. I've seen people keep napkin journals too. So they use their beautiful napkins and they just make beautiful like little art journal pages, all of the things, however you like to do them. Now let's take a couple of these and make them with this decorative punch. I'm gonna make a little bit of a mess here on my desk, but that's all right. What else is new, right? Now we could easily slip this page out of the journal to do this, but it's right here. So I'm just going to trim along. Oh, and look how cute that looks. Now we can see our little piece behind there. I love that. Decorative punches are a fun way to add some decoration without going all out. It was just that easy. Okay, I like that. And so let's do that on this back side as well, so it will kind of match a little bit. Come on, come out of there. There we go. Can be a little bit tricky. Just take your time and line everything up as best as you can. Okay. Sometimes it's easier if you peel this part off so it doesn't get stuck in there. But then you just need to really make sure you're lining it up as it's supposed to. There we go. And collect all those pieces from in there. Now that one's by Stampin' Up. There's a lot of other ones that a lot of other brands out there you can get for decorative punches. I don't know that I really have a favorite brand, but I do like to make sure that I get a well-known brand, so it's not one of the cheapy ones from like Timo or Daiso, because they just don't seem to work as well for me. Okay, how we doing? Loving it, still loving it. Yay! Okay, good. So we've got our little decorative page in there. I love that. It almost gives it like a little element of lace on the edge there. We can still add things like lace and whatever. Let's see what I've got here. This is sometimes the frustrating part and the exciting part all at the same time. I have such a mess down to my right that I can like just kind of dig through things and see what I've got going. And I know Pam from the Paper Outpost. Hi, Pam. Right, like she's watching my channel, but she sometimes picks things up from the floor. She's like, I need a little embellishment. Let's just look at the floor. And she is so right because, man, the floor just gets so messy. Okay, so I've got this beautiful piece of ribbon with some lavender roses in there. Let's turn the Ryobi on because we just have a few minutes here. And what I want to do with these is kind of put it on the edge right here. It'll strengthen up our edge. It'll help seal in our edge of the napkin, and it'll cover these lines right here for construction. It'll just make it look like one smooth, cohesive piece. And if we put it up like this, what does it look like on the back? It looks like a little trim of lace back there as well. Hit that thumbs up. Yes, please. Hit the like and the thumbs up and all of the things. Like, subscribe, do all the things. There is links in the description box below. If you hit more, you get to that description box, which will send you to my friends that are next for today. Next after me is Michelle from Design and Vine. And you won't want to miss her lavender crafting either. I love purple and the color lavender, all the things. I actually have some lavender plants here at my house that I absolutely love. Their outside one is just huge, and the other one didn't do so well over the winter, but they are lovely. They have a beautiful scent, and man, the little bumblebees just love them, so I love that too. I feel like I'm helping the bees. So I'm going to be here continuing to craft while we watch my friend Michelle over at Design and Vine, and I will see you guys over there. So head on over and don't miss the rest of the Artistry Collective's Lavender event today. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.